Thank you for tuning in to the best parenting show on the internet, Post Daily Dose.
It's the Post. It's the Post. It's the Post. The Post Daily Dose. It's the Post. It's the Post. It's the Post. The Post Daily Dose. It's the Post. It's the Post.
Hey, good evening, Facebook family. Welcome to another episode of Post Daily Dose with me, your trusted parenting advisor, faithful guide and servant on the healing journey. What's my name? Big Papa Brian+Post. I think I'm going to close these blinds. Give me one moment. Is that a little better? Yeah, I think that's a little better. So good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Post Daily Dose. I actually tuned in last night, but I got cut off twice. And the last time I got cut off that many times, I realized that the signal probably wasn't going to be that good, so I didn't want to cause my listeners any frustration, and so I just signed off. So here I am back again. So I did show up for you last night, just wasn't able to get through to you. We're going to blame that on Sprint or just my poor planning for not being in studio with you. So today I'm going to pick up where I left off yesterday. I was talking to I was doing an interview for Allison Morris and the World Parenting Summit. You'll probably be hearing more about that in the coming days as that's launching, I think Allison said, in May. And it just tied into a conversation I'd had with a parent also about some behavior, not necessarily behavior challenges she was feeling. Hello, Lisa. So much as it was her emotions of feeling disconnected and overwhelmed, and maybe like her children didn't care, she wasn't going to be able to break through with her children. And I was talking to Allison during the interview, and I started talking to her about the way the brain has to rewire. So we have these vibrations. Hey, Deanne, we have these vibrations that we emit, and anytime we get stressed out and overwhelmed, our brains go outside of our window of tolerance for how we can regulate that. And that's really what drives negative behavior. And there's really nothing, when you have exceeded your window of tolerance for how much stress you can handle, there really isn't anything you can do about that. You've gone outside of the window. And I know as adults, you've experienced that before, where you've hit that point and you've just been like, you can see, now this is as an adult, you can see that you're in this state, this emotional state, and you can see that it's not helping, it's not getting better, but you just can't stop it. You just can't turn it off. Now think about that in relation to children, our children. Your children are under stress. Most of them already have diminished windows of tolerance anyway. And things go on in their day and they get overwhelmed and they exceed that window of tolerance. And when they do, it drives their behaviors. Well, in our society, we are so focused, not just focused, we are obsessed with behavior. And why is that? It is because our amygdalas look at behaviors and see a threat. So our amygdala looks at negative behaviors and sees a threat. And so we get obsessed about the negative behavior because we are attempting to feel safe. Follow me on this, because I'm really making this really simple. And it's the problem with making something really simple is that it's hard to comprehend because we are so quick to complicate things. When our adult brains see our children misbehave, what we do is we focus on it. We become obsessed with it because that misbehavior is a threat. And so all of the conditioning that we've experienced over the years, which also has been focused on negative behavior, leads us to become more obsessed and focused on the negative behavior. And before you know it, we've exhausted our window of tolerance, and the only thing we can try to do in that state is get the child to stop the behavior. That's our whole motive, is to get the child to stop the behavior. We are not trying to soothe the child. We're not trying to support the child. We're not trying to understand the child. We are not trying to assist the child. We are trying to get the child to stop. And here's the problem with that. Our children rely on us to help expand their window of tolerance. They rely on us to help them to regulate in the midst of their dysregulation. If all we're doing is attending to the behavior, we're not attending to the underlying state, the state underneath the behavior that needs the actual support. It's like a house that is collapsing. If you go in that house that's collapsing and you replace the roof, you replace the walls, you replace the paint, you replace the furniture, you replace the television, you replace the wiring, you replace the plumbing, you replace the flooring, the light bulbs, the cups, the spoons, the sheets on the beds. You're doing everything except what that house really needs. And what that house really needs is it needs the foundation propped up. And when you get stressed out and overwhelmed, your whole focus is that the house is falling in. And that's what that's when your children are misbehaving, your whole focus is on the behavior. And what we're missing is what is occurring that's putting our children in such a state that they're having these behaviors, that the walls of the house are falling in. And how can we best support our children? And that's when we go and we prop up the foundation. The only way you can do that, I'm going to make this super simple for you. The only way you can do that is if you can first calm yourself down. Take some deep breaths. Make sure you've gotten some food. Make sure you've given yourself some time out for yourself. Make sure you give yourself permission not to have to worry about anything else. Calm yourself down, which calms your brain down, which then activates your oxytocin response. And when you activate your oxytocin response, in the midst of your child's negative behavior, what you begin doing is turning on their oxytocin response. Now, I'm saying all this in a very simple way. The actual application to it is very, very challenging. And the reason the application is so challenging is because it creates so much stress and fear for us. And the more stress and fear it creates, the more difficult it is for us to slow down and breathe and be present and be mindful and understand and build up the foundation. But I'm going to take this one step further. When you are helping your child build up the foundation and solidify the foundation, what you're actually doing is helping your child's brain to rewire. You're helping their brain to choose a new pathway. You're helping their brain to create new synaptic connections that allow them to manage and find solutions for that problem behavior. Because that problem behavior has nothing to do with you. Really, it has nothing to do with you as the parent. It has everything to do with that child's past experiences and their present experience and whatever their obsessions about the future may be. We make it about us when we see the behavior as a threat. But when we're able to keep ourselves regulated and then be an effective regulatory support to our children, what we're then doing is propping up the foundation, and we're giving their brains an opportunity to choose new pathways of reacting and responding. And when we do that consistently, the brain starts to learn that it doesn't have to go down that old reactive pathway. And that's what happens when your children start getting better. When your children's behavior starts to improve, it's because you're helping them learn new pathways of response, new pathways of even reactivity, because the amygdala is reactive. But the amygdala never shrinks. It can only learn new pathways. So you're helping the amygdala learn new pathways of reactivity that then help them pursue a path that's not so overwhelming. So I hope that's helpful. I would encourage you to maybe listen to all of that again and take it to heart. Maybe make some notes and send me your comments, send me your questions, because I know that that's not light stuff I'm dropping on you. So remember, in any given situation, we always have two choices. We can continue to react and be overwhelmed and move into shock and become stressed and fearful. Or we can stop. We can take 3 to 10 deep breaths, slow down, and we can choose love. And I hope you will choose love. God bless each and every one of you. Big Papa loves you. Thank you so much for joining me. I pray for you every single night that your home may be filled with love and restoration, that you wake up re-energized, refreshed, reinvigorated, and most of all, restored and made whole to your beautiful, amazing, loving self, both you and your children. Also, if you get a chance, go check out BigPapaPost.com. BigPapaPost.com. I created a special little video. I'm going to be doing a little traveling here coming up. I want to go have coffee with some of you. I want to spend some time in some of your homes. So go check that out if you get a minute. All right, guys. God bless. Have a good night. Talk to you soon.